Hi everyone! Today I'm going to teach you how to make a fun jumping frog from a regular 8.5 inch by 11 inch sheet of printer paper. There he goes. So let's go ahead and get started. So once we have our 8.5 inch by 11 inch sheet of regular white printer paper, our first step is going to be to make some guidelines to help with our folding. Okay, this will just make the folding step a lot easier. So the first guideline we're going to make is going to start by taking our upper left corner, this one right here, and folding it over so that the upper left corner meets up with the right edge here. And the whole point of doing this is to make a triangle. So now we'll have like a nice pointy edge right over here. So once I've got that, I'm going to smooth this edge down. Okay, so now I've got myself a nice triangle. All right, and you can do some adjusting if you want, or not. Either way is fine. And it's okay if it's not 100% perfect. All frogs will be very cool at the end of this, I promise. So this is our first guideline. I'm going to unfold it. And you can see now that we've created this line, right, that goes from this corner here to that edge there. Okay, so now we're going to do the exact same thing, but this time instead of starting from that corner, we're going to start from this corner here. And we're going to try to meet this corner up with this edge. And actually, if you can match it up with the line, the end of the line that we just made, that is even better. It might be easier as well. So I'm going to fold that down, try to make ourselves a nice point, just like the last time. So see how I have that point there? Just make it a nice looking triangle. Okay, so there's my other triangle, and when I unfold that, now I have this big X, this big old X. So here's the line there and the line there. Okay, so see the X? Great. So now the next step here is you can already see the paper is kind of lifting up, right? So on that edge where it's lifting up here, this top edge, we're going to take it and we're going to fold it over so that we create a line going through the center of the X, okay? So you're going to meet this corner, this upper right corner, to this edge here, the end of that line, and the same on the other side. And hopefully that should put a line right through the middle of your X. If you need to adjust it a little bit to make it go through the middle, that's fine. Okay, and so now when I unfold it, it should look like this. I should have my X here, and then going right through the center of the X will be a horizontal line. Okay? All right, so hopefully your paper kind of looks like this right now. So now we just finished the step where we made all of our guidelines here, our big X with the line through the middle, all right? X and the line through the middle. So now we're going to move on to the folding step. So this step is more challenging, so I'm going to try to slow it down and show you multiple times the steps here. So first thing you're going to want to do is start out with this line here. So see from this center of the X to that edge, we have this line that should be pointing like inwards kind of. So we're going to take that line and we're going to fold it so that it points outward like that. Okay, so can you see what I'm doing? Like that. Great. So I'm just going to do that all the way up until I reach the center. And as you're doing that, you should notice that this line here and this guideline here are starting to move in, right? They're starting to kind of make pockets, and that's good. That's what we want. So go ahead and fold that, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side to this line, the line that's going from this center to this edge, okay? So I'm going to start folding that in. And I know it's kind of a weird, like it might feel wrong kind of to do this, like it might seem like you're doing it wrong, but it ends up working out in the end. So I know that you probably couldn't see any of that, but I basically just did the same thing as what I did on the other side. So you should see that this corner is also making this pocket, and this corner is also making that pocket. So what we're going to do is we're going to make these two inward facing lines that we just made, and we're going to push them together, and we're going to flatten them now. We're going to flatten them down, and then now we have this like big poofy part up here, and we're just going to kind of smash it. We're just going to smash that down, make it flat, okay? Now, there might be some like weird lumps and bumps going on. Just do your best to smooth those out and keep it looking like a nice, even triangle as best as you can. Not all frogs, in fact, no frog is perfect, right? You can't make a perfect frog. So it's okay for your frog to be a little bit imperfect. It's okay for it to be a little bit lopsided even. All of that means is that your frog might hop faster even. It might hop a little slower, but it also might hop in more fun ways. So all frogs are cool. And we will end up with a frog at the end of this. All right, so now we finished that step. That I think is the hardest folding step. So the rest of this will be easier. So now I'm going to take this corner here. I know that mine's a little bit uneven here. It should look more like a triangle corner. Yours probably does. So we're going to take this corner here and we're going to fold it up so that the edge, the point, meets up with the top of the triangle here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right. So there's that, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So this one looks a little bit nicer on my frog. So I have this point here. I'm going to fold it up so that it meets with the tip of the triangle there. So just like that, I'm going to smooth that edge down. Okay. So now I should have something that looks kind of like this. All right. The next step, we're going to focus on these kind of bottom sections, okay? So I'm going to take this edge and I'm going to fold it so that this corner here meets up with this center here, okay? I'm going to fold it to the center. And as I do that, this long edge is going to fold over and you're just going to crease it down. You're going to press down on it, okay? So now this side should look something like this, okay? And you're just going to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to take this corner and we're going to match it up to the center here. All right. And there we go. We have our nice looking long edge here. Smooth that down. And so now this is kind of what our frog is looking like, all right? These next steps are the last few. It's going to start looking much more like a frog now. So I'm turning it sideways a little bit just so you can see better. So I'm going to take this bottom edge, right? I'm going to take these two corners and I'm going to fold it so that these corners match up with these corners, okay? This corner and this corner, all right? So you're kind of folding it in half almost. So I'll show you what I mean. Like that. Okay, so now you have it folded in half. So now we're going to fold it one more time. So we're going to take these corners again, these corners here, and we're just going to fold them down to match with these bottom corners, okay? So you just folded this sort of longish part at the bottom twice. And this is what's going to make the back legs, the hopping parts, all right? And there we go. So you can see that this corner matches up with that corner, and this corner matches up with that corner, and now you have kind of like this Z shape there. So flip it over, and there we go. That's the shape of our frog. There's the frog's front legs, there's the back legs. So now, this step is optional, but I always kind of like to do it for fun. We can go ahead and draw some eyes on our frog. So just a big old circle here, big old circle there, dot in the middle, and there's our happy frog. So to make the frog hop, go ahead and sort of stretch out his legs a little bit, just give him a good old stretch. just like that. So now he's kind of standing more upright. And then you're just gonna press down lightly kind of in this motion, and there he goes. And see, even though my frog had some weird looking arms at first, he still hops just fine. All right.